Sasha here from the Little Dogger Treat, owner and creator of the Little Dogger Treat and the littledoggertreat.com. I am back today to talk about essential oils and natural essential oils that can actually help with and aid with anxiety, depression, and create focus or mental clarity in your dogs. So I love natural things. I go to natural remedies all the time instead of using medication. So I like to have a certain amount of oils on hand at all times to help aid in not only my own home and my own dog's situations and mental state, but also help in our daycare. And so one of the things that I do use is an essential oil diffuser, and I'm going to show you what that is. I'll get it turned on. This you can pretty much get at, it is plugged in. You can pretty much get this at any home goods store, like a Bed Bath & Beyond or a Target, or Amazon also carries them. Mine's from Amazon. I'll put the link below. This is what it is. So it's about the size of my hand, honestly. It's pretty small. And it does a great job. It does not come out hot. I just lost the cord. It does not come out hot. I'm going to turn it on now so you can see what it does. So what you're going to do is pretty much put in your essential oils. And I'm going to show you how this works. So you're going to open it up. It's a really simple system. So this one you just fill with purified water. I have a natural attachment to my sink that does a purified system underneath and comes out purified. You can use natural refrigerator water, but I would use just pure water. And then you're just going to fill it up and put in your essential oils. So for the purposes of right now, I'm just going to show you what it does. It actually already has some oil in there. Actually, here, let me show you what it looks like when you put your oil in. I'm just gonna pick one from behind me. Let's do some orange, some sweet orange. So this is an essential oil. Essential oils are basically natural oils. So basically purified oils that have come out of some type of herb or some type of plant and put in a concentrated form in a jar. Now these can get kind of pricey, so I would suggest just picking one or two to start out with. Make sure you like the essential oils, make sure you like the company that they're coming from. One thing you're gonna wanna make sure when you're doing essential oils is always make sure you're buying pure oil, pure organic essential oil. You don't want it to have any fillers or any kind of properties put into it. You don't want any additives into it. So that when this comes out as a steam or a vapor and you're inhaling it, it's going to give you happy beneficial properties, but it's not going to be putting any muckiness into your system. So I'm going to show you what this looks like. Basically take a couple drops and then just drop it in. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I love the smell of orange. So I've got about 7 drops in there. Now this will come out pretty fast. Once you turn it on, you can just turn on mist. This has a light. I usually have, it can change colors. I usually don't have the light on. I usually just keep it clear. I don't know if you can tell from that. So there it is. And so it comes on really fast. This is a vapor. It's not hot. It's actually kind of cold. And it just comes out like that. And then after a moment, it'll stop. There it goes. And then it'll come back on. So inside what it's doing is just kind of spraying this up and having it come out as a vapor, and it'll go on and off by itself for as long as the water's in there. So that's what the system looks like. Now, why do you want to do this for you and your dog? First of all, this will help aid in any kind of mental clarity that you need, any kind of focus, any kind of anxiety you may having. Essential oils are going to benefit you as a human, but for today's purposes, we're going to talk about your dog. So your dog is a canine, and your canine is still a mammal, and mammals, just like all other mammals, can benefit from essential oils. So what the oil is basically doing, it's going in their system and it's going to go into the circulatory system within the blood, and it's basically going to circulate in there. Now, the oils themselves, just like a topical agent, when inhaled, when breathed in the air, are just going to basically have a little bit of a faster effect on you or your dog. So if you have a dog who is having, if you have a dog that has anxiety issues, a really stressed out dog, if you have, and I know we're talking about dogs, but it's funny because dogs can still have anxiety issues. They still have stress. They have separation anxiety. They have, you know, mental confusion ailments that can occur as they get older. And so if you have a dog with a lot of anxiety issues, just putting this on in the morning, maybe 15 minutes at the most before you go to work or before you leave the house or before you're going to go do errands, can help give your dog just a nice calming effect. Now I have back here, I'm going to show you a couple of my favorites. I have quite a few. This is not a collection that I just bought immediately. This is something that I've been growing for a few years now. So again, the oils can cost anywhere from about $3 to $4 to about $10, depending upon the oil that you purchase and the company you're purchasing from. So it's not an inexpensive resource, but it is something that if you find you really enjoy one, just keep the one. You don't need a bunch. I do have a bunch just because I use them for different aromatherapies within our home and for my guests. But I'll show you kind of the variety that I've got back here. So for anxiety in dogs, specifically dogs that are staying with me who are either going to be here during a holiday, such as the 4th of July or New Year's, where there's going to be a lot of booming sounds, I'll use the anxiety set that I keep right here. And so these are wonderful for, and I'll put a reference in the link below so you can kind of see where these come from. I'll also put a reference. I really like the Dr. Axe website because they have everything broken down, and it's just a nice toolkit to kind of, if you don't remember what a certain oil does, or if you're looking at buying one and you're not really sure, you know, is this one going to benefit me or what does it do? You can always check out that. I use a reference. I don't remember exactly all the time which one does what necessarily. The ones I use all the time I certainly remember, but if I bought a new one, I may not remember perhaps, you know, exactly all of the situations that you can do with them. Plus you can mix them. So they smell wonderful when you mix them, but they also have better benefits if you mix them in aromatherapy. So I do have a good night blend. This is one that's really fun in the daycare if I have a lot of anxiety prone dogs, and I'll just put it on for even just 5 minutes and just kind of get the air freshener in there basically, and it makes the daycare smell good, and it also helps kind of just soothe any anxious dogs. And then what I usually use is a frankincense and chamomile blend. So frankincense is really good for anxiety. Lavender is really good for calming. And then also chamomile. This is a chamomile lavender blend that is also excellent for calming. And so what I'll sometimes do is put my chamomile lavender blend with a few extra drops of lavender in there. And not only does it make the room smell incredibly intoxicatingly wonderful, but it just kind of takes the edge off of anxious dogs. So it's just going to relieve some of that stress, some of that anxiety. It's going to help ease the muscle tension that they may be having. And it's also just going to kind of give them a nice peaceful state. This is in no way a drug that is going to hurt your dog in any way. If you do find for whatever reason, let's say your dog is having any kind of respiratory issues with this, then you're probably putting too many drops in. So essential oil goes a long way. 1 drop goes a long way. And so I would always start with just 1 or 2 drops, unless you know that you've been using a certain oil for a while and you just really like a bolder smell or a bolder scent from it, put in some more drops. But especially if this is going to be in a contained space or a small room, you know, with dogs. Dogs' olfactory nerves are much more sensitive than humans, and so just 1 drop, 1 or 2, and you should be good. And then just kind of see how they're doing and see how they're going. I would do this, especially if you have any kind of family reunions or holidays or birthday parties. You're gonna have a big group of people over or a lot of kids over, and your dog's gonna be maybe in a bedroom. They're not gonna be able to participate in the event. I would do this probably at least 15 minutes before people start showing up, and that way it's just in the room, it's setting that calm state. And then in addition to essential oil, you'll want to kind of give your dog a nice massage to ease any tension that they might be having in their shoulders or their back hip flexors. And then also just, I always say, use trigger words. So if you have a dog that is anxious, it's going to be separated during kind of event, or you know that a holiday is coming up or they're going to have a lot of booming sounds, use trigger words. So trigger words like calm, trigger words like safe get used to using those as you're doing massage or doing the oils with your dogs, and your dog will automatically be put in kind of that mental state where they're recognizing and identifying that I am in a safe place, I am in a calm space, and I can just relax and just be a dog, and mom and dad have it taken care of. So that's great for anxiety. Now, if you have a dog that does go through depression, and dogs do actually go through depressive states, if you have multiple pets and a pet passed away, and so your remaining pet is just really sad and depressed about losing the loss of another pet, if you have major changes in the family where people are no longer in the household, or you've moved into a new household, that's a major situation for your dog, and your dog can actually slip into a depressive state. Depressive states are wonderful with essential oils because it actually kind of boosts their mood. So even if they are feeling kind of lower down, essential oils just kind of have naturally kind of help the body through that. And the type that I like to use, because I do actually get dogs that are depressed, you know, they do, especially new dogs, if they've never been to a boarding type environment and they're in their older years, so that's completely a surprise to them to be left by mommy, you know, what happened. We do a lot of prep before that for our dogs, but it does help that first night or two to kind of give them sort of a boost. And I like to use, I'll show you the set I use. This is a blend called Hope, and it's a wonderful oil, but the one that I usually use is literally, I'll use rose, let's see, I'll use some Yang Yang, which isn't behind me, it's in another room. The blood orange or the sweet orange is wonderful, and then I'll mix that with a little rose water. And this is just a natural, this is a completely natural rose oil with its water and literally rose oil. And what I'll do is literally just drop this in just like the essential oils and just have it, you know, kind of in the room. And again, I'll keep my diffuser on all day long, but I only, in the daycare, I'll have it on for maybe 15 minutes. So in like a kitchen setting where it's going kind of throughout the entire house, I will leave mine on all day long and even refill it in the middle of the day. Now, if it's going to be in a closed space, I'll literally only have it on for about 15 minutes and then I turn it off or move it to another space just because it's already in the air and already kind of circulating in that space. Now, for mental clarity, and this is good for both you or your pup, mental clarity or focus. So if you have a dog who has had an injury and you're trying to rehabilitate them, if you have an older dog in their geriatric years and they're just kind of a slump most of the time, and they'll go out and go potty, or they may go on a walk slowly, but they come back and then they're asleep the rest of the day, and that's just kind of their routine now. This can actually help. So mental clarity and focus, it's not that they have to study for anything and need mental clarity, it's just an alertness, and that alertness by its pure definition will actually help your dog just do more stuff, just be more interested and engaged in the family dynamic or in their environment, and get them sometimes even playing again like a puppy, or moving around, and that movement, that circulation starts to get them to actually play and again be a dog and enjoy those older years instead of just kind of sitting in the corner of the room or sitting on a sofa. So the ones that I use are right here. I have quite a few for these. All right, so one of my favorite go-to mental clarity ones is peppermint. Peppermint is amazing. So peppermint is actually an oil that not only do I use it for the essential oil purposes, this one actually, I bought a larger version, so it actually has a dropper in it. And so this one is also fantastic for muscle aches. So if you have a dog that has had any muscle aches, I would diffuse this with a little bit of water and then just apply it to the section. Now this one is going to have a cooling effect. So it's going to feel almost like an icy hot where it gets really cold. It's because it's cooling down the muscle swelling. So as a human, as a side note, I will use this on myself, on my neck, when I get trapezius headaches. So the muscles that are right here in the neck, the trapezius, which basically hold up the neck. Your dogs also get those strained as well. You can put a little bit of essential oil on it. Now the first time you do it, again, just one drop, smooth it out. A little goes a long way. And then I always say just kind of test on yourself so you are aware of the cooling effect, because it does get actually quite cold. And then as it absorbs, it just really feels very soothing. But you can put this in the water also, and it'll have a similar effect and a boosting effect to your body and your mental clarity. The next one I use, it is also very similar to that, is let's grab it, peppermint. So this one is a big peppermint. This is a little peppermint. So here's the two types of versions. This one has a dropper, and this one is just you just kind of pour it in. And then I will also use tea tree oil and eucalyptus. So the eucalyptus is also going to have a similar effect. When you rub it on, it's going to have sort of a little bit of a cooling effect. It's not going to feel as cool as a peppermint or a spearmint would, but it will help in any kind of like aches or pains that a dog may have. And then the next one would be clove and vanilla, and these smell incredible together. So I use these a lot together for dogs who have, especially on a hot day. So if you have a hot day and everyone's just kind of slumped, you as a human, you just kind of feel slumpy, and your dogs also feel slumpy, you can put in some essential oils and you'll get that mental clarity. You'll get that feeling of sort of being refreshed or having a nice nap and feeling refreshed. That will actually help just by putting the oils in and just by breathing them in. Now, essential oils, I'm going to say for most of these, go ahead and just use an essential oil diffuser for the air quality and for the aromatherapy effect. But if you do want to use some of these on the physical portion of your dog, you can do that. You're going to want to put them on their ears. You're going to want to put them on the inside, pretty much your pressure point. So you can do the ears, the top part of the ear, or right below, right under here on your dog or on yourself, and then also just under the armpit or on your dog on the inner thigh. So their leg, you want to put on the inner thigh, so where the fur is the thinnest. And you're just going to put like a little drop. So you're going to basically I'll show you with the vanilla. You're going to basically take it and then literally just take your finger, apply it to the top, drop it over, and then that's how much you're going to put. You're not going to put much. So you can always kind of do a couple spots. You can these have protective caps, so they just come out as a drop. You can also remove the cap and just have a larger section, and then you just kind of use your thumb to apply it. But you want to apply just a very small amount. So with a very small dog, like under 15 pounds, I would just do one drop, no more. If you have a dog that's around 30 to 40 pounds, you can probably do 2 to 3 drops. And then if you have a really large dog that's in the 100-pound range, you can do probably upwards of 5 drops. But again, I would always add if you see that your dog needs more, if they're not getting the benefit from it. But again, so you can actually put some aromatherapy oils literally on their ears, on the under ear portion, and then basically under their arms, under their front legs, under the armpit area, and then on the inner groin of your dog. So I wouldn't put it anywhere else. You don't really want them licking it off. A lot of these are natural, so they are going to absorb very quickly. So these aren't oils that are going to stay on and be sticky or kind of greasy. These are oils that are literally within about 30 minutes, they're going to be completely absorbed into the body, into the actual epidural skin, and then the skin layer, and then you're going to notice that your dog's going to start to have that benefit. So again, with the calming, I would probably do, maybe 1 or 2 drops on either ear for anxiety, and then mental clarity, again, just 1 drop on either side. And then for the calming effect or the depression effect, I would do more of the aromatherapy than the actual topical. So for anxiety, you can apply it to the body. For mental clarity and for alertness, you can apply it to the body. But for the depression, I would just use the aromatherapy. And then basically what you're going to do is just going to keep this on. I'll show you how it works again. You're just going to keep it on. When it first goes on, it'll give you that steam. Again, it's nice and cold, so you're not going to burn. The actual container unit doesn't get hot. Your hand doesn't get hot. This doesn't get hot. And it will steam in the room. I think it goes for about a minute. And then it will stop and turn off. And then it'll just keep turning itself on and off. And then I think it goes for about 10 minutes before it turns itself back on. And there you go. And it smells wonderful. So and there you go. So it turned off. So about a full minute it'll stay on. And so this, we're in a closed room. So I might even at some point just unplug it or turn it off. And then you can use this depending upon where your dog sleeps. I will sometimes use this in the daycare as like a little night light with the aromatherapy, something really mild, just like 1 drop. But for the most part, you're going to want to just kind of turn it off at night and just have it during the day. And so that is aromatherapy for your dogs. I hope that this helped. If you do have a dog with any kind of anxiety or depression, feel free to give me a comment below or let me know if you have any questions. Dogs that do have a lot of physical signs of anxiety, I would go for aromatherapy, but I would also ensure that you're doing the massage. And there is a video about how to massage your dog. I'll put the link down below. But again, if you have any questions, feel free to ask and comment below. We hope that you enjoyed this. Please like, comment, and share. If you know of anyone who has a dog, large or small, please share this and pass this along if you think that they would benefit from it. Also, visit our Instagram page and our YouTube channel. And feel free to join our private Facebook group called I Speak Dog Training Club, where we answer questions every week that you have about dog health and dog training. So I look forward to seeing you next time, and have a great day.